Hello, we're going to work on magazines this week, and this is a former student's magazine cover. You will be making magazine covers, one where you supply the picture, and it doesn't have to be a portrait of you, and two, where you go on the internet and you get a picture maybe of your favorite sports star, soccer, football, baseball, movie star, singing star, as long as it's school appropriate. And you notice that our student here, when he wrote Sports Illustrated, he put some neat white lines around it. Problem down here is we can't read this, and we'll get around that, and he could have deleted the white back here, but it's a pretty good try. But you can see here we can't read this text. Great picture. What type of lighting is this? Let's see, lighting coming from this side, not really on this side, so that would be 90-degree light, and the light's coming here. I don't think a reflector was used, but it's kind of neat how it's catching part of the eye. I was experimenting this morning. This is our dog, and I put first off, an unusual magazine. Magazines are usually vertical, and I made this one horizontal. And I put Shayna on the cover of Vogue magazine, and these are all our layers. We have a lot of different layers, and I'll teach you all this in the next video. I want to show you one thing right now. On the move tool, always have this auto select right here, checkbox on. And anytime you touch a layer, if you look down here, it will jump to that layer. So if you wanted to do something to that layer, one, you've got to find it, and this will. Also, anytime on the next video you add letters and backgrounds and lines, we will go here and put each new thing on its own layer right here. So let's just go to the word Vogue, and let's verify I'm on the right layer, and I am. And let's look down here. This is our layers palette, and we will explore over the next several weeks what these things do down here. And FX gives us some really cool effects that I'll show you. Before I do that, I want to put a little line around the letters, and I'm going to take, here's a new tool, Color Picker. It's like an eyedropper, and I like Shayna's, let's see, let's go to the eyedropper tool, and right there you see, if I move this, this will choose any color I want. And I want something here that's going to stand out. Pretty neat. Any color you want that you have in there. I do like this sort of hot pink, so that's the color I just chose. Photoshop has a million colors, and this is our color box. If you touch down here, it'll default to black and white, and you go arrow and go white and black. But I don't want that, and I want that color right there. So now I'm going to go under, let's see what we have here. I'm going to go under File, whoops, and I'm looking to make a little line, and even Mr. Bruce gets lost. Okay. Won't do it. Why is that? Edit. Let's see, edit, and we have stroke. When it's grayed out, you can't do it, and the reason it was grayed out was, for some reason, I wasn't on the right layer. So I'm going to go to stroke, and there's the color I chose, and I'm going to hit OK. Now that's a little bit much, so let's undo that by hitting Control Z, and let's go down and we'll try it again. We'll go Edit Stroke, and I'm going to put this on maybe 10. You can go on the outside of the letter, the inside of the letter, and I'll hit OK. Oh, that's kind of neat. I like that. Alright, so let's go down to the FX, and let's do a drop shadow right here. And we'll pull this over here. Now, we should get a drop shadow for our letters, and this is the direction of the shadow. Multiply you can leave. I want a black shadow. And we're going to play with opacity, distance, spread, and size. First off, let's find our shadow. There's the shadow right there. And there it is right there. Shadows are usually a little bit out of focus. I wouldn't want it sharp. Maybe you do. And what you see is what you get in Photoshop. So if you like it, I like it. And then this is here. And the arrow will change the direction of the shadow. And you decide where you want it. Let's see, the sun is actually coming this way, so maybe the shadow should be going this way. And I'll just fade that out a little bit, and I'll hit OK. I'm going to go back to FX. Let's see what else we can do. What's an outer glow? It's white. Let's just... that's kind of neat. If you can see that right there, it puts a white glow on it. So I'll have a folder of titles for you, or you can make up your own. Just make sure you can read the letters. I'm going to make it like that. I'll hit OK, and maybe we'll try one more. But I'd really like you to try all these. Stroke we could have done here. Inner glow, bevel, satin. Let's try bevel and emboss. And let's just start. Oh, that's kind of neat. It makes it kind of 3D. And you can always change the color, and you can just experiment to see what all this does here. That's pretty good. So I made the word Vogue in a way that maybe no one's ever seen it before. So for this practice, and again, the next video I'll show you how to do a whole magazine cover. We're going to go File, and this is what you should do. I'll have a folder in your Google Classroom with titles. And we're going to go File, New. I'm not opening anything, I'm making a new document. This comes up. Well, I don't know pixels as much as I know inches, so I'm going to bring this down to inches. And this is 20 inches by 10 inches, and I'm just doing a title to practice. So I'll make this 8. You could go 8 by 5, 9 by 6, whatever you want. We'll go 9 by 6. And the resolution, we will talk about that later, but right now 72 is just fine, and I'm going to hit Create. Also, the background will be white. You could click on this and change it. Okay, so I have a white background. And now let's see what we got here. Okay, so I'm going to dock it up here. And here's the Vogue. And here's People Magazine. So you see they did something pretty special where they put an outline on it. So let's go here, and we're going to pull this down, and we're going to find our Untitled. And this is the layer here, and this says background, and I said, and you told me and reminded me, Mr. B, if it says background, we can't do anything with it. If it says index color, we come up here, image, mode, grayscale. but this says background, so we double click and we hit OK. You could title it. It'll be titled Layer 0, which is just fine. And now I'm going to go to our Magic Wand tool, and I touch the background where it's white. I'm going to hit backspace, and look right here, I missed this area, so I'll go on the inside and hit backspace. Now I'm going to hit Control D to deselect it. I'm going to take my Move tool and grab one of the letters and bring it down. So what I'd like to see on this is you could bring a title down, and then in this layer drag it down here and go to the Move tool. Whoops. Go to Move tool. Mr. B is struggling. Why is that? Let's see what we got. We have this layer, and we have this layer. So there's one layer, there's another layer, and Mr. B should be able to separate them. And this is past selection. I want the Move tool. There we go. So you could duplicate this a couple times. You could also experiment to go to the letter T for type, and it will color in pink right now. I'll pick black, and I will put the mouse here, and I will type Mr. B. So let's go to this top layer, and we're going to go here to the Move tool. I'm going to touch to make sure I'm on the right layer, and go to the FX, and just play around with what you want to do here. So that's the stroke, and I'm going to hit cancel. I like the stroke up here better. Let's try this. Edit, stroke. I'll change this color to neon yellow. I'll hit OK. And let's see what 10 pixels is the thickness. I go inside the letter, the center, experiment with them. Let's hit OK. And let's take the magnifying glass, see if anything happens. Okay, Control minus. Let's try it again. Edit, stroke, black on black, it's not going to show anything, so there's yellow, and let's hit this. So it's creating a green letter, which isn't bad. But I didn't want that, I wanted it in outline. So I'm going to hit Control Z. I'll go Edit, Stroke. I had 10. So let's try 1 and see what happens. Aha. I like that. Magnifier. So put little green line around it. And let's go to... We'll go to the next one. I'll shrink this down, Control minus. Oops, Control plus. Okay. And let's go to FX, and we're going to go to the drop shadow. Play with all these. What you see is what you get. So there's the drop shadow. You can move it around. Shadows are neat. Shadows are a little bit, and then this changes the angle, you can see. All right, let's look at one more thing. Control plus. let's look down at Mr. B. Now on Mr. B, so this I don't need. I'm just going to dock it up here. So it's up there if I want it. Let's go to Mr. B and we'll finish up. We're going to touch the right layer. And I typed it in. And a couple things we can do. We go to the type tool. And number one, if I highlight it, I can come up here and change the size. And if I highlight this and we bring this over, let me show you. There are, well, let's do it this way. Okay, so you need to highlight it, and if we highlight this, let's go down here. These are different types that you can have, and once you get one that you like, kind of familiarize yourself with the name. That's kind of neat. So if you make your own title, you have more flexibility to start with by choosing a type that you like, and then unclick it. And again, if I go here and we go to FX, whoops, FX, let's try bevel and emboss, bring this down here, and getting an effect there. What you see is what you get. You just want to play with it. What's down, and I'll hit OK, and we'll try one more. Outer glow. If you don't, let's hit OK. I didn't see an effect. Let's go to one more. Satin. How about inner glow? That's kind of a neat effect there. Oh, that's a real neat effect. I like that, where the letters are kind of disappearing. But just make sure people have to be able to read the letters. If you have words up there, if you get too fancy, it could be a problem. Now this is on screen. Let's try normal. Nothing happened. I'll try one more. So there are all these that we'll be looking at. What you see is what you get. I'll hit OK. And magnifying glass, and we can look at this. All right? That's kind of neat. So that's what I want you to practice. Practicing letters. All right. Thank you.